I think healthcare data has to be as secure as any data on the planet. Right? So number one, I think your hospitals have sort of potentially put us all at risk, and we just didn't even know it. I'm coming out of the Department of Defense, and that network is just, bizarrely secure. So we had that luxury. As I've moved down to the commercial space, I've gotten to see what our healthcare data security looks like. So there's the, my record, the old school, the doctor would write in a record and put it in an office and lock the door, and that was the security. So, we got to keep it apples to apples, and it's a little harder to do. The next part, though, is the whole cultural side of my healthcare data. Right? Like, I'm not publishing my healthcare data, but my niece and nephew, they're like, I have strep throat, and I was given penicillin. I broke my leg. So I think we're almost again on a cultural shift for what it looks like for that data to be secure. And then the final part, I hope we stay, and I'll turn over to the regulation teams, and that is that I hope we stay to an opt-in, opt-out model, right? You can do the breathalyzer, you don't have to do the breathalyzer. Both come with a risk, right? So what will you do with your healthcare data? Do you want to opt in on it or opt out on it?
Let me make a privacy prediction. You're going to sacrifice it because the stuff that you get in return for sacrificing it, most of us, some of us won't, is actually going to be pretty amazing. The reason why we won the World Developers Cup was we developed an artificial intelligence to interact with you as a physician would on Twitter. We could start picking out the fact that you were depressed and suicidal after a pregnancy, or that you were about to travel to Belize and needed a vaccination. This is stuff people are admitting by the thousands all day long publicly. And we were just screwing around, two of us, Nayan Jay and his partner in crime now down in DC. We were just doing this in our spare time. Imagine what these guys can go after if they did it full bore, not as a hackathon project, but a full bore thing where if you friended a robot on Facebook and sacrificed your privacy, but it could behave as a doctor to you, would you be willing to do that?
I also think the thing that's going to make that really successful is getting more granular control over your data. It's not binary, it's not all or nothing. You should, and I think with the available technology that we see Facebook adopting and others, the level of expectation is that we should be able to control at the data element or at the field element in terms of what you're willing to share. So you might not be willing to share everything, but you want to share something.
Don't think of mobile as all data. It's a communication device. It basically shortens the time frame between someone getting information, advice, whatever. So it's very much a tool. This has very little to do with someone collecting data and acting on that data. And then the second piece, as you just heard, as you start to develop certain things, whether that's an app or other kinds of information, secondary opportunity there to do that, or as it gets into some type of device. But the mobile phone itself is really a window to information, communication, and something that the world is going to benefit from, just to have that capability.
David Blair, here from Google. David is the head of industry for health at Google, where he leads a team providing thought leadership in digital marketing and advertising solutions across Google's platforms, search, YouTube, content network, Google+, and also mobile. Welcome, David.
Thank you.
Coming to us from the White House, we have Adam Dole. Adam is a Presidential Innovation Fellow working on the My Data Initiative and Blue Button at the Department of Health and Human Services. Thank you for being with us. We also have Robert Jaron here from DC as well. He is the Senior Director of Government Affairs for Qualcomm, where he represents the company on regulatory matters relating to wireless health and life sciences. He chairs several committees, and I'm only going to mention a few here this evening, such as the Advisory Council to MHIMSS. He leads the American Telemedicine Policy A-Team on telehealth and meaningful use. He co-leads the FCC mHealth Task Force. Dr. Henry Wei comes to us from Aetna's Innovation Lab, where he is the Senior Medical Director for Clinical Innovation. He's also on the faculty at Weill Cornell Medical College. He was part of the inaugural group of White House Presidential Innovation Fellows. Welcome. Last but not least, we have Dr. Michael Weiner. Dr. Yes, we're ready. Dr. Wiener, Michael, is the Director of Healthcare Strategic Services at IBM. He is a graduate of the U.S. Naval Academy and a board-certified physician practicing in internal medicine. He holds master's degrees in management and information systems technology from George Washington University, where he's also an adjunct professor of health IT. Thank you, Michael, for being with us today.